Hello and welcome back to the channel and the last time for a Thursday upload because we're here. We're at the final episode of season 5 of Lower Decks, but not only that, just the end of Lower Decks in general. Now, I wanted to film this earlier and I did try. I just couldn't get the words out. So, and now that I've had some time to sit and process this episode, I have mixed feelings on this episode. But I'll get to that at the end. So for the last time, let's dive into this episode titled "The New Next Generation," which I do like that title because they technically are, because this is still set during the time where just prior to a whole bunch of shenanigans happening. In the post Nemesis era, there's no word on this the supernova for Romulus. The whole protostar thing isn't a thing yet, but in this case, so yeah, did it feel good, the finale? I'm gonna say it didn't leave me satisfied. To be completely honest with you, but that's okay. I wasn't, with the knowledge that this was going to be cancelled when I don't think they expected this to be cancelled, like with Discovery. I think they gave us the best ending that we could have gotten, that this was the best that we could have got. What I'd like to see, like a flash forward, yes, but it still also leaves it open-ended. It leaves Lower Decks open-ended for a potential return, be it on a different streaming service, if they can do that. If Mike McMahon can manage to pitch it to a new network to pick it up for another 2 more seasons, to stretch it out to season 7. But as it is, this is it. So we picked right back up where we last left off. But prior to that, it turns out that the anomaly that William Boimler basically sent to his universe, so that his clone Brad could be the one to deal with it. We get it's in Klingon space, and we see a bunch of Klingon ships. One of them gets hit with a wave and changes it into a Discovery era. They change the Klingons to Discovery era Klingons, as well as the Discovery era ship, and destroys 2 ships. And then we have Ma'at and Malor, the 2 brothers that we've seen from episode 4, but also Molor we seen from the twice prior to this in the Lower Decks episode, where it covered a bunch of other different Lower Decks and not only that, we got to see him in the series 4 finale, and he's back for this one, which I don't like. I think I was happy with his story being done in episode 4. I didn't like that he was here. Granted, it was okay, but it needed to have like kind of other stakes. But it could have been handled differently. It could have been handled a lot better, in my opinion. We see them show up. They get surrounded by the Klingons, because again, we're still dealing with the story of the house that he had initially served under, that he killed the captain in that Lower Decks episode. And then, of course, in episode 4, we kill the house leader, and turns out that there's another person from the house, and they're trying to, kill him. And so instead, Molor wants to have a fight, but not Molor. Ma'at wants to have a fight, but Molor wants to run away, and so they go find the Cerritos, and that's where we pick up with the Cerritos. Brad gets the message, he books it to the captain, and she actually takes it seriously, which is good. It shows just how much they have progressed in the throughout the show's run. That it's not just she doesn't see it as the ravings of a madman, and so she brings this information to Starfleet, and so they're like, okay, so we're going to send two ships to deal with this, the Enterprise, well, hey, and the Cerritos. Oh, they weren't expecting that. Because they're just a weak little California class that's only there for like the bottom tier missions, that we know. But of course this is our hero ship, that we all love. And so they make their way, and then of course the two Klingon brothers show up. There's some more shenanigans that happen. They make it to the place. They start to go through it. They get some new shield schematics that don't really do much. Rutherford has some developments here. He's getting pissed off a lot at the old technology of the Cerritos because obviously her systems haven't been updated, and his processor is a lot faster than the mid-range or lower tier technology that's on the ship. So he's constantly getting frustrated with that and trying to figure it out. And he's saying that he's fallen out of love with the Cerritos. The one ship that he loved because he loved fixing things around the ship. Him and Tendi. And so we get character development to the point where whilst they're fighting one of the Romulan warlords in this nebula, this thing, we see the California class, we see the Cerritos being changed into many different versions. So the outside is what's being changed, as well as some of the interior, but not the actual people on board, which I kind of it's weird considering the fact that we see twice that affects the Klingons twice, but I guess because of the shields, that's what protects the inhabitants of the ship, but not the ship itself, which we do know. The hull is the one that gets it, and it does turn into quite a few designs. Now, I'm not a fan of single nacelle ships. I think they can be the ugliest ships out there. But the first design that we see the Cerritos change into, I kind of liked. I thought it was, a pretty cool looking design. Definitely reminiscent of the kit bashing that happened in the Next Generation, that they done for the Battle of Wolf 359. All of those ships, which I have one on display over here. That bookcase there, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I have the Springfield class is one of those Galaxy kit bashes. And I like it. Then we change some more. We see an Oberth class. I hate Oberth classes. For those who don't know the ship classes, the USS Grissom from Search for Spock, that ship is an Oberth class, and I fucking hate it because the Federation keeps trying to fucking throw these things at the Borg. It annoys me. It annoys me that they continue to throw a weak, feeble fucking ship at the Borg. Like, here, just fucking do something. And it never does. It's the first one that will always be destroyed. Like, again, going back to the Search for Spock. Look what happened to the USS Grissom. Shields were at full. It got hit by one torpedo by a ancient, like a really old Klingon bird of prey. And it fucking went kaboom. That's how weak it is. Rant over. We see a Sovereign class. Yeah, we see a Sovereign version of the Cerritos, which is really, really cool, because again, I love the Sovereign. We all love the Sovereign. If you don't love the Sovereign, what's wrong with you? Like, please give me some reasons as to why you don't like the Sovereign at all. And I'm very interested to know. And then they the Klingons come up with the idea of building a dam of sorts, because by the time they get to it, it's too late to stop it. But the dam works, and is now opening a portal between these different multiverses. And now I get annoyed. I get slightly annoyed at that. The fact that it's there now. It's reminiscent of the end of season 2 for Star Trek Picard for me, because it's never been mentioned in Picard season 1 or season 2 or season 3 or Prodigy. Prodigy season 1 and season 2. Yeah, or even Discovery season 3, season 4, season 5. It's never been mentioned. Obviously because it wasn't a thing when those shows were being announced, but I guarantee you it's going to end up like that with the second version of the Borg from season 2 of Star Trek Picard. That's how I felt with it. And then we get the ending of the show where they're going to put a starbase there. They're apparently going to start sending ships through to explore these different universes. And the only space station that won't ever be affected is Starbase 80. And Starbase 80 gets a new captain, Captain Freeman. So again, calling back to the first episode, where Captain Becky Mariner mentions that her mother is stationed at Starbase 80. So it's an interesting callback. Giving Starbase 80 something interesting to do. To monitor the goings of the universes, we get William Boimler and the Defiant ship that he's on coming back, talking with a bunch of people on Starbase 80. DePaul there. We do see Julian Bashir's, the LMH, as well as Garrick there. That's nice. I really like that from the last episode. And then we do see the new captain of the Cerritos. Of course, it's going to be Ransom, because who else would it be? Which is cool, because at the start, Ransom was kind of a dick. He's so self-absorbed. But it's cool that he actually, he was the one that get the promotion. And, he turns to Shaq, he's like, Freeman told me you're not allowed to blow up the warp core. And he's like, oh, only if there's a good reason. He's like, yeah! And then he picks two interesting acting first officers, because obviously, there's still lieutenant junior grades. That, of course, being Mariner and Boimler. And he's like, oh, I'll promote one of yous eventually. Which is interesting. It feels like when Saru in season 3 of Discovery made Tilly acting first officer as an ensign. Interesting. But I'm happy with that. And then of course, again, going back to Rutherford, like I said, he takes off during the episode, he takes off his ocular implant. And at the end of the episode, we see him normal. We see him without the implant. He's decided that he doesn't need it anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see him take things in real time and not have the processor going off. And they teasing me. They are teasing me with the 10D Rutherford ship. They are fucking teasing me because he gets so hot and heavy around her. And she's obviously oblivious, but he definitely has feelings for her, and I fucking told you that they will be a couple eventually. And then it ends. So yeah, I have my gripes with this episode. It definitely isn't like the best of finales, but it is sad that for the moment we won't get more Lower Decks. We're not going to get Boimler, Mariner, Rutherford, Tendi, T'Lyn, Billups, Miggly Moo, all of those that we've come to love over the past 5 seasons of the show. We won't know much about them because, well, there's only one more show, the one show that is still set in that time frame, and that is Prodigy, and we don't know if Prodigy is going to get a season 3 or not because it still hasn't been announced yet. So as of right now, we don't know what's going to happen to these characters. Obviously, eventually, we'll have a Captain Mariner and a Captain Boimler, but we won't see that, which is sad. I don't make I make this well known. I didn't like Lower Decks to start off with. It took me a full season to get into the show. It was actually the end of season 1, beginning of season 2. That's when I got heavily into the show. And it's a show that I have grown to love and appreciate as a Star Trek show. And I've come to love these characters throughout the past 5 years of the show. Like this was the third Star Trek series that was announced to be a thing after Discovery came back and after we got Star Trek Picard as well. And now the first 3 Trek shows that brought in this new era of Star Trek are gone. Granted, Picard was always going to be the 3 seasons, but both Discovery and Lower Decks have been cancelled. Granted, they've had 5 seasons. Not many TV shows nowadays make it to 5. They barely make it past 1. And the fact that we have gotten, 5 amazing and wonderful seasons with this crew. We even got to see them in live action. Mariner and Boimler in season 2 of Strange New Worlds is astonishing. And I love that. And I really do. And I hope to God we get more Star Trek announcements, be it movies or TV shows, because we are dangerously close to approaching a dark era of this show again. We have no word on if Prodigy is going to get renewed for a 3rd season. We know that Strange New Worlds has a 3rd season coming. They've finished filming for that. We know we have a 4th. We know we have at least 2 seasons of the Starfleet Academy show, because that did get greenlit for a season 2. We have the Section 31 movie literally in several weeks' time. Practically a month away. And then there is that show that Tanya Newman is working on, that Star Trek show that they pitched at New York Comic Con. That's it. We've gone from having 3 different Star Trek shows per year to probably now we'll have 1 next year, with the movie, of course. And that is a scary thought, as a Star Trek fan. Because I never lived through the dark period of when Enterprise got cancelled to the reboot to... I became a fan as the reboot movies were happening, the Kelvinverse was happening, and then the Discovery era happened and all that. And so I never got to experience the dark days, as I'm referring to them as... after Enterprise got cancelled, there was no Trek for 4 years. But yeah, like I said, I had mixed feelings about it, but I'm still happy that this show actually had 5 seasons. Because like I said, look at a lot of shows, a lot of amazing shows that aren't being given the breathing room to find the audience that they need. They're getting cancelled left, right, and fucking center and taken off of streaming services. Which is why I do what I do, being collecting physical media. Because at least I can watch these anytime I want. Like, I have all 4 seasons of Lower Decks, and when season 5 drops on physical, you're damn right I'm fucking picking that up. Because who knows, now that this is over, the quote-unquote home of Star Trek might not be the home of Star Trek anymore. They might just decide as a tax write-off to remove all 5 seasons of Lower Decks. So yeah, the weird segment into a PSA to buy physical media, but hey, that's that. No more Star Trek Lower Decks. So let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments down below. And yeah, I guess all that's left to look forward to now is the Section 31 movie in January, which of course I will be reviewing. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you all on the very next upload.